this is extra video. Post
video.
If you saw the other video, which is this whole thing with Finca Deborah competition coffee, this guy placed third, and it's the third best coffee in the States. This is a different video where I've been talking about this for a while, okay? This is, dank, funky, co-ferment coffee. How do you brew these coffees is the topic of this video. Because, we were tasting a bunch of coffees and I wanted to taste the co-ferment. So, but actually let's talk about this coffee.
Yeah, for sure. So this coffee is the co-ferment from Brandon, Las Palmas. I think there are many places that roast this coffee. And I also roast this coffee. It's very grape-like. It's very high chew, high aromatic experience. But the one that I roast is not so high aromatic because I extended for a very long time. As we talked long ago, back then, my roast is kind of longer than normal people.
I mean, mainly because he's roasting Thai coffee. So
exactly.
A lot of the Thai coffees, at least in our experience, the extended development actually really makes them taste better. Not to say that it's covering up anything. No. I think it's just enhancing sweetness. And when you're doing that on a lowering, it seems to make these coffees taste really good.
Yeah.
And with some of these more punchier, pungent, and funkier
coffee co-ferment,
it might be better to actually roast in that way. You don't want maximum clarity necessarily.
Right. I don't need the clarity for it.
Oh, okay.
But we extended more on the sweetness. I think that's how it is. The aromatic,
that's what's
softer,
interesting. Yeah,
right?
it is a lot softer.
It's not like boom.
Yeah, because I've had, and probably many of you guys have had coffees from this producer, like Juicy Strawberry, Juicy Cherry,
exactly.
That entire lineup of coffees. And what I have always found, at least with the strawberry ones, is that you get that cheese effect.
Yeah, the cheese effect.
Yeah, this one, I'm not really smelling any of it. So
it's kind of softer in smell. Again, because of the roasting, I guess, that...
Yeah, it's probably the roasting here, but I think this is roasting matters and all of that. It's how a roaster expresses these coffees.
Right.
But I think actually a lot of it still comes down to brewing. How you brew these co-fermented coffees, it is down to even what water you use, what gear you use. But a lot of it actually is down to recipes too. So in a previous video that I did, I had a video where I was we tasted a very funky. It was a coffee from Mod. I did a coffee with a video with Mod Cup.
Oh, Mod Cup?
Yeah,
oh, nice.
yeah.
They always do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they do a lot of crazy stuff. And we did a brew of the same coffee, but one was ground on EK with brew burrs, and the other one was ground on Commandante, low clarity burr.
Love that.
And then I brewed them very differently, where one was high flow rate, one was low flow rate.
Okay.
And we much preferred the lower clarity setup. A lot of people, I think as hobbyists, we get in, we spend a lot of money on gear, and then you think you should run the maximum, most expensive grinder, the highest clarity grinder with some of these coffees. I don't necessarily think that's the answer, right? Yeah. So that's one component of it. And then second, of when you brew these coffees, you don't necessarily want to try to extract the highest or brew in a very high clarity way, right?
Yeah.
So that comes down to agitation, all of that. So that's that whole entire thing. And that's what I did a video on before, and I wanted to provide just this other additional perspective of how are you,
how am I brewing
How do you brew these coffees?
So I would do with 3 pour. So first is blooming. Second is just small pour now. After brewing, I will do very slow pour, less agitation. I like it to be clean. With this coffee, it's funky itself, right?
Yeah.
So we know that it's very, high intensity, aromatic, and also high in flavor. But for me, I like to make it clean and also tea-like as always. I think most of my coffee, I like to tend to be brewing with low of the TDS. I mean, it's gonna be high still. You will see it, the measure, but it's more tea-like and lighter in body, and it's more enjoyable as someone who tea or hibiscus tea, herbal tea, or juice tea, fruit tea. It would be something that close to that. So yeah, very light in body and everything. I'm grinding with the same grind size.
Okay, as a previous video.
As a previous video, yeah.
So give this a smell.
Yeah, you can see that the smell.
It's not
crazy.
And then this one you use also Oria, but
Oria, but different.
Different.
I use just the regular Oria. You can use V3, V4. It's the same. We have the same. I don't know. The bottom is the same.
But no negotiator.
No negotiator.
Okay.
With the Carita wave.
Okay.
very simple and easy for everyone to find.
Yeah, but I think this is totally your roasting style here because I'm not punched in the face with pain.
yeah. Sometimes it's very painful with the cold ferment.
Yeah,
right?
low cheese. Really no cheese in this one.
It's very clean to the coffee. I use high temperature still with 94 degree.
Okay.
And then again, we do the same but different. This time we only do 3 pour, which first is I'll do 60 and then 140 and at the end 240. So 16 ratio the same.
Yeah.
But just 3 pour. That's right.
Instead of 4.
Yeah, instead of 4. All right, let's start. So we do 60 at first with, circular motion to bloom it out. Then I stop and wait for 30 seconds. Now the aromatic come because of the blooming, the cold ferment, right?
Yeah, but it's still not the worst, right? Yeah, not bad.
It's not like the very crazy aromatic.
Yes.
And then after 30 seconds, we add just center pour, small, slowly. So now less agitation.
Yeah, so you're doing
140.
140.
Very slow pour, slow pace.
Yeah, this seems about like 4 mils a second.
Yeah.
Versus on the Finca Deborah and the cleaner coffees, you were doing like 12.
Yeah, 12. Yeah.
Yeah. So, center pour really is gonna make these coffees
different.
Yeah, a little lighter. Versus your circular pours.
Right. And then at 115, I'll do one more to the end to 240.
So 115, and you just pour 100.
Yeah. Here we go. We start.
So 1 circle, 2 centers.
2 center. That's correct.
Yeah, because like with brewing these funkier and danker coffees, like you can either do like more pours with lower temperature, or
right.
higher temperature with less pours.
Less agitation.
Less agitation as well. So a big part of this is like if you just want like the lowest, softest agitation, you just pour in the center.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then it should end about like 210, 220.
Yeah, so also very, very fast brews. A different approach of how you brew these more funkier coffees. Especially if you look at how you compare how Pack brews to how I brew, where I
know it's different.
Very different.
I know we brew
expressions.
different.
I actually don't really do many center pours at all. Yeah. I do all like circles with a lot of agitation, and I try to manipulate other variables. This is center.
Only you can see that it's very even extraction.
Yeah.
Like the coffee go down, and then it's flat here on the top, and that's about like 210 earlier.
So also very, very fast brews. Like a lot of my brews end up in like that 3 to 3 and a half minute brews.
It's different,
but
it's not like
it's
not like boom.
Yeah. This is much softer.
Yeah.
Well, let's give it a taste.
Mm-hmm. Please. I'm gonna look at the
just a brief look at extraction. Generally, with these coffees, you want it to be on the lower.
Yeah, on the lower side.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, cheers to you.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's not too aromatic. Yeah, right. Do you see what I explained to you?
Yeah. Wow.
It's more tea.
Yeah. No, I mean this tastes like tea with grapes. In
exactly.
It, like a grape tea. This literally tastes like a grape tea. You know what's also interesting? Aftertaste doesn't have any of that harshness.
Yeah, like a lot of high fermentation have hardness on it.
Yeah. This is really nice. It's a much softer presentation, and the aftertaste just is it's just smooth.
Gone.
Yeah, smooth.
It's not leaving any like I would say defect or something.
Yeah, or like roughness.
Roughly.
Yeah. Usually with these co-ferment coffees or these hyper processed coffees, if you push them over. Yeah, so this is 127, right?
That's perfect.
Low, right? So this is below 1.3, which I think is what you kind of want for some of these.
1.3.
1.3, yeah, but a lot of this is all influenced by the agitation and really the center pours. I think if you wanted to even use lower temperature, you could with this recipe. But this is what what are your cupping notes on this, right? Candy, Concord grapes, Haichu, right? This is what this coffee tastes like.
It is exactly
right.
Grape it's the flavor go along with the smell. I don't know how to explain that, but
they're very one-to-one.
One-to-one.
Oftentimes, some of the co-ferment coffees, you'll find it smells way different than how it tastes. So sometimes one smells better or tastes better than how it vice versa, right?
Yeah.
But like this is very, it smells like how it tastes.
How it tastes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very high chew, but it's not super high chew. It's come a little bit and it's gone to small grape.
Yeah, like oftentimes with grape flavored coffees or like grape co-ferment coffees, I think about like xylitol, like the gum.
Oh, the gum.
And it's like too fake tasting.
Yeah,
like I'm personally actually not a big fan of the artificial grape flavor.
Yeah.
But because of the way this is brewed, this is.
I think it's the way how it's brewed too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you agitate more, it would be different.
I think if you agitate more, you might push the processing over. Yeah. But this is kind of like sure, it's roasting style where you're like extending things a little bit longer, and you're not necessarily covering up things, but you're just making it a little softer.
Yeah.
And then you brew in a soft way, aka lower agitation. And it tastes really good. So this is like, I think this is a recipe that you can adapt for some of the funkier coffees. I just thought it would be fun to show off this different recipe for brewing these crazy processed coffees that exist in today's world.
But that's right, yeah. With anaerobic process or lactic process, or how would I say it, like thermoshock, I think this recipe worked because we low agitate and then we extend it very low on the TDS. So I think it makes sense. It would be more clean, less body, less after funky taste, I would say.
Yeah, but I think that's like what you want for these coffees anyway. Unless you guys want to experience pain, then you should grind, then you can go push these coffees hard, right? Grind it hard and grind it very fine and agitate. But I think this is like the direction that a lot of people should head in with brewing these types of coffees, because it makes them a lot more palatable, but it's still gives you like enough of what the craziness that exists in this coffee is, right?
Yeah.
It just makes it a little softer, a little easier for you to taste. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to show off real quick, is more how to brew dank and funky, crazy processed coffees. Pack might still have some of this online when this video goes out. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for spending the time to watch this video.
Thank you so much, guys.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.